One.
This is Bob Flaws with Blue Poppy, and my lovely wife Honora has suggested that I do a series of brief histories of famous Chinese doctors to help Western practitioners deepen their understanding of Chinese medicine a little bit by understanding something about the progression of ideas and the development over time. So I'm a specialist in the Jinyuan dynasties. This was a kind of a renaissance within Chinese medicine, a time of a lot of new ideas. And in particular, there are four great masters of the Jinyuan dynasties: Liu Wan-su, Zhang Zihe, Li Dongyuan, and Zhu Danxi. And so I'm going to start today talking about Liu Wan-su. Chronologically, he's the first of these four great masters, and he lived from 1120 to 1200 CE. Liu Wan-su is also referred to as Liu Hejian, and he, unlike most of the famous scholar doctors of Chinese medicine, he was an avowed Taoist. He was known as a Taoist adept. And so he has a Taoist name also. Dongyuan is his Taoist name. Because of his Taoism, he was very interested in the relationship of weather to disease and the progression of the seasons and causation of disease. In the dynasty just before the Jin dynasty, in other words, the Song dynasty, a movement within medicine had become very popular, the use of acrid, warm, supplementing medicines. Now, of course, if you overuse acrid, warm, supplementing medicines, you create a lot of dryness and heat. And in fact, Liu Wan-su reacted against this movement. It was his opinion that all six of the external environmental excesses have a tendency to transform into heat, even though it may start off as cold, even though it may start off as dampness, even though it may start off as wind cold or wind dampness. There'll be a tendency to develop heat. This aspect of his work has come to be known as the theory of similar transformation. His idea was that the living qi of the human body is inherently warm in nature. Well, it's easy to understand. When we're alive, our body is warm, and when we die, we quickly become stone cold dead. So he said the living qi is warm. And when an external qi invades the body, you then have the external qi is the guest qi, the ke qi, and the body's host qi, the living qi, the background qi, the basic qi of the body is the host qi or ju qi, the ruling qi. And what Liu Wan-su said was that because the host qi is inherently warm, any invading guest qi will, over time, also transform into a warm or hot evil. And this tendency to transform into a warm or hot evil is going to be directly proportional to how much yang qi the host has. If the person has a strong yang constitution, they already run hot, then they're going to make this transformation much quicker. And the transformation is going to result in also more virulent, stronger, more vigorous heat. This is the theory of similar transformation. Why it's called similar transformation is because the guest qi transforms similar to the host. In Chinese culture, this is a basic cultural idea that the guest should accommodate themselves to the host. Whatever's going on in the host household, the guest should try to act similarly. In the West, we have the idea, when in Rome, do as the Romans do. So this is Liu Wan-su's theory of similar transformation. Because Liu Wan-su believed that most acute externally contracted diseases wind up manifesting as hot diseases, febrile diseases, diseases associated with fever, elevated body temperature, he advocated the use of cool and cold medicines. Remember that in the dynasty just before him, the fad, the popular approach was using acrid warm supplements. And so Liu Wan-su said, wait a minute, I don't think so. I think we've overdone this. When it comes to externally contracted diseases, I think we should be emphasizing cool and cold diseases. So Liu Wan-su is remembered as the father, the progenitor, the creator, the founder of the Hanlian Pai, the school of cool and cold medicinals. So this idea that many diseases, regardless of how they start, become warm, hot diseases was a really important insight of Liu Wan-su, and one that, in fact, ever since, most Chinese doctors have accepted and believe is extremely important in clinical practice. So, as we'll see from my next couple of YouTube videos, the following doctors of the Jinyuan took this idea that most diseases are warm, hot diseases and elaborated on it. They didn't completely accept everything that Liu Wan-su said, but certainly he provided the foundation upon which these other famous doctors built. So that's what I'd like to share with you today about Liu Wan-su, also called Liu Hejian.